Hi everyone, this is Glenn Knight with Column Technologies, and today I'm going to demonstrate a product by Atlassian, Jira software. Jira is the number one software development tool used by agile teams. It's currently used by millions to plan, track, and release software. To highlight some of Jira's key features, it's just a high-level overview just to give you a solid understanding of just what Jira does and its potential. And we're also going to cover how teams use it to create great software. So Jira contains many powerful features and powerful tools that will assist a team in every phase of the software development lifecycle. It's built with Agile in mind. What we're going through now is a Agile project. Some of the key features that Jira provides is it provides a one-stop shop to manage the team's backlog, and also prioritizes the backlog in such a way that it stacks the issues in a prioritized order. If we look at the backlog, we can see that all these issues are stacked together, they're color-coded, and they're ranked by priority. Have this kind of visualization just to assist the team, get people's trains of thought going a certain way. If someone has to reprioritize, we can always just point and click. It's that simple. What we'll also want to do is to check out the boards. The boards provide a certain visualization of the work in progress, and they allow for teams to collaborate on work items, whether they're using Scrum, Kanban, or even a mixed methodology. This allows for an increase of visibility within the project, and it helps keep everyone on the same page. So we can see easily that we can see what's in progress, we can see what's left to do, what's in code review, and what's actually completed. To move items to different, again, it's a simple drag and drop. Just drag and drop, that's all it is. So if we go back to the backlog, we'll notice that we have sprints as well, with certain issues within those sprints. But we can also on the backlog. Once we hit create sprint, sprint 12 pops up. To populate that sprint, all we have to do is select a couple backlog items and just drag and drop. We've created a new sprint. It's not finished though until we start sprint. Here we can specify a name, a duration, a start and an end time. Once we hit start, it's successfully been started. So, in addition to the planning, developing, and releasing of software, reporting is also key. Teams will constantly reprioritize their issues in an attempt to improve their process and be more successful. So the reporting tool will allow teams to have visual data in real time. If we go to reports, we populated already. These are all very useful. Right now we're looking at the epic burn down, which is a burn of progress made during the different sprints. So we can view progress, we can view any scope changes, whether there's any scope creep, which is inevitable in any project. It'll help us manage additional requirements as customer feedback comes in and monitor those goals, as well as the predetermined requirements. And this is all in real time, so anytime a report is pulled, it will be the latest report. We can also go to the velocity chart. The velocity chart will measure the average velocity. Usually it takes a team about 3 or 4 sprints to be able to determine an average velocity and an average completion rate. But after those few sprints, it will be very useful to use as a benchmark. Use the average velocity as a benchmark to see, okay, this is how many story points or issues we should be completing within a certain sprint. By doing that, we can measure the progress of the team, where they've had hiccups, where they can improve, and where they're doing. So that's very useful from a project management perspective, as well as from a team perspective, just so we can all be on the same page as far as what the end goal is and should be. So if we backtrack again to the backlog, we can see that teams start by creating epics, which are then broken down into issues which individuals can work on. Teams begin with multiple epics, which are usually features that need to be broken down into user stories or issues. Then each issue is broken down to a level where it can be accurately estimated. The breakdown process can uncover non-essential interpretations of requirements and anything that's superfluous. And all of those can be reprioritized as need be. A benefit of this is that teams can have a balance between their current to-do tasks and longer-term goals and initiatives. Prioritizing tasks, again, it's simple as just drag and drop. Excuse me. Teams can also create versions, and the versions can include multiple epics, multiple features that they're working on. And once the backlog is broken down and estimated, item can be assigned to a member of the team. So again, once the sprint is up and running, the team will swarm the board, pick up issues, assign them out, and move them to in progress, code review, and eventually to done. And it's good to remember that the Agile definition of done is 100% releasable software to go. We can measure that progress by clicking on releases. When we click on releases, we can also see real-time health checks and just status of releases. By default, it only shows unreleased versions. We can modify the filter. This is very helpful if you want to measure how a release is going or view progress of releases to notice trends or any issues that have been occurring, just to make sure that the team is releasing reliable software all the time. All of these features that have been discussed are part of the Scrum methodology of Agile. We can also go to a Kanban board. Unlike Scrum, the Kanban teams have a continuous flow of issues across the board. There are no sprints, no set start or end dates. Kanban teams, they take the items off a prioritized backlog and work on them one at a time. Same functionality applies. It's simple to the other. And we also have counts at the top to see how many are in the particular status. For Kanban teams, it's especially important to break items into small pieces, just to get an accurate idea of the throughput. Kanban teams like to limit the work in progress as a means to achieve higher overall efficiency. So Jira not only shows the number of issues in red when the amount of issues being worked on at one time is exceeded. We can configure this by configuring the board. We can configure columns. And here you can see there's a minimum value and a maximum value. The maximum value will be the constraint as to how many issues can be in progress at one time. So as you can see for legal review, there's a maximum of 2. Note that within the swim lanes, we have a default swim lane called expedite. Now this is the priority is blocker. Anything that's blocker is the highest priority. Anything within the highest priority will automatically get assigned to this swim lane. This is so that if any member of the team sees something this is to put out fires, to stop any show-stopping issue. We'll also notice that these queries for the swim lanes are using JQL, which is Jira Query Language. It's a simple language that you use to filter out certain using Jira query language. It's pretty intuitive, and once you get going with it, you'll pick it up in no time. It's also worth mentioning that within Jira, you can have many different kinds of filters. Personal filters, just so you can be more organized, or for filling. Jira is a very, very customizable tool. It can be customized for teams big or small, international or domestic, or a mix of both. The best software teams, they develop and release often, and they release with confidence. Jira makes that whole process more simple. That's a high-level overview. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this to be useful. Again, this is a great tool, highly customizable, can be tailored to your specific team, organization, or business needs. Thank you.